We on? All right, welcome to Stream Live Tampa. Here on a Monday afternoon, we thought we were going to start a new weekly show, recapping the previous week's local high school athletic scene. I'm Jim Delaney. This is Andrew Burdick. You're seeing us the whole time. Most of the time, you only hear our voices at the different games that we've done here at Stream Live Tampa. We've done about a dozen games or so, from baseball to basketball, girls and boys. And with no sports going on, no pro, no college, no high school here for a little bit, this was a perfect time to set up shop and do a weekly show. We'll talk about a little bit history on Stream Live Tampa, a little bit of maybe what the future holds here locally once we get back to normal, when sports are back on locally or not. We'll talk about our sponsors, a little history of us, and Andrew will probably go into first part of a series on health fitness, as he's owner of AB Sports Performance as well as being part of Stream Live Tampa. So Stream Live Tampa really got its inception from Leonard High School. That's true?
2018?
Yeah, 2018, so about a couple. Before we get started, join our YouTube, chime in. We can make this as interactive as we can. We can take your questions. We really want your voice heard as far as what are we going to name this weekly show. Let's just have a little fun with that. In the future, maybe we get to the point, let you vote on a game we could go to, and things like that down the road if you look big picture. But go back to the start of Stream Live Tampa. Got started in 2018, basically from Leonard High School. Javier Nunez, our producer, who founded Stream Live Tampa. His son, Yo-Yo, played baseball there. He's now up at St. Leo. So it started doing high school baseball games at Leonard High School. And then it just kind of grew after his son, Yo-Yo, graduated last year. Saw that there was a need locally, and we've learned that over the past few weeks and months, that people want us at their games. And they like seeing regular season games televised and the production of it and the work that we do behind it. So he started doing some basketball games. That's where Andrew came in, being a former Leonard Longhorn himself, basketball and football. And then the three of us got together and started talking and said, hey, let's do some more games and more people that each of us knew in the local area. And it just kind of grown to the point here. So we want to thank everybody for all the likes on Facebook, the follows and the retweets on Twitter, the free subscriptions to our YouTube channel. Everything has grown just
It's awesome.
Really an abundant amount of all of those. It's been a lot of fun so far here in the first few months of 2020. And now with this little gap in action, gives us time to make sure we still stay in front of you guys and talk about what you want to hear next and what we have to offer now. Our sponsor, especially our recent sponsors, our longtime sponsor, Lewis at Lucas AC Services. I think he's been a part of every broadcast that we've done online. We want to thank Lewis, big time. Our recent sponsors, Randy Glove, former longtime resident of the Tampa Bay area, former Brandon High School assistant baseball coach, East Bay High School, Game Time Prospects baseball organization. That started as Game Time Recruiting here in the Bay Area, and it's kind of to summer teams. I know they had 3 back in 2018. Now they're up to 8, and he's done a lot of great things for the local high school baseball players as far as helping them in their recruiting and their exposure with the summer teams. And I know there's talk of softball this summer. There's talk of girls and or boys basketball in the future, and that's something I know myself. I've been working with him to help that grow as well. So our sponsors, longtime sponsor, Lucas AC Services, and our 2 most recent sponsors, I want to thank you guys a bunch. And as we do these shows until we get back at games, we can make sure that they're getting the recognition that they deserve. I also want to thank the Osprey Observer. There's a upcoming news article in the Osprey Observer in the different parts of the Bay Area, from Apollo Beach to Riverview to its home base in Valrico. We want to thank Nick Nahas for writing that article. He had interviewed us a few weeks ago about that. We've seen the PDF file of it, and I think it's going to be online soon. So we want to thank Osprey Observer as well, and recognizing what we're doing here locally. So Andrew, I guess, as far as what's going on with no high school sports for at least a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Let's tap into kind of from your perspective, not really AB sports performance, but just your knowledge and experience.
Sure.
So what these kids can be doing.
Yeah, right. I think
now.
that's a great transition.
They can't practice. They can't go into high school gyms. Summer organizations can't work with these kids yet. They're still high school season. But what can they do?
Yeah, right. I think that's awesome. I think that is something that, we all got a body, and we need to learn how to use that body, right? And no better time than now to work on skill, work on strength, work on power, jumping. And you can do this all within the confines of your room, your household, push-ups, sit-ups, squats, anything, and if you're lucky enough to have maybe a couple dumbbells, you can get even more into the, nitty-gritty of power, speed, and strength. But staying active, I would say, 60 minutes of some kind of strength training a day. That's not too much to ask at this point, being that school has been, just suspended for a while, and there's not practice that's taking away your stress, tolerance. So a lot of opportunity to build your personal body as well as your general characteristics. Maybe the skill is going to fall off.
We'll get into the travel world, because a lot of those organizations are based off of playing in certain tournaments where college coaches are at. Those coaches aren't going to be there now if they do this.
Right.
But I think first and foremost, you see if you can make that season up over the summer, play the College World Series and the Women's College World Series in August, and it flows right into football season. So that's something that could happen. That'd be interesting to watch that and see how that works. And again, it's a
There's a lot to be found
time.
out at this point.
Yeah, it's nothing. But those are just ideas that have been out there that were kind of interesting. And the discussions I had with college coaches that I know, they were in favor of it, but there's just no decision you can make yet right now. You kind of see how things play out. Go back to what people can do right now. We're talking about the movement part of it, the recovery part. What about eating?
Yeah, right.
Like
that's
the
huge.
nutrition part of it. That's not just now what they should be doing, but just in general.
Yeah.
What about nutritional ideas?
Yeah, that's huge, right? And I think the big part will be getting 3 square meals, and that's always a base to start from. And now these meals have to, the big portion needs to be protein, whether that's plant-based protein, whether that's meat, whether that's a dairy product. It's got to have some kind of protein, right? So, protein not only helps with muscle if we're training, it helps with recovery, it helps with our immune system, it helps with breaking down food, it helps with fevers, it helps with all these different things that, if you're not eating enough, you're not run out, but you're going to be lacking and therefore need of more. So protein has got to be that main staple. It's got to be something that we add into our every meal, every single 3 meals. So, and it needs to be a good rule of thumb for an average, 180-pound human. Let's say we'll go for a little bit lower for maybe like the high school 150 to 170. You need 20 to 25 grams. You need.
That's why we're live.
That's right. You need the 20 to 25 grams, right? So even if we're only getting three meals, you're getting only 75 grams. We hit 25. Still not enough.
Sure.
But it's better than scraping the barrel of maybe 20, 25 grams all day. And I've seen a lot of MyFitnessPal, by the way. Give a shout out to them. They're huge. A good way to track your food, and it has a scanning method. You put the QR code, scan it, puts all your nutritional facts. Proteins, vitamin A, vitamin C, all these things that you don't have to even think about inputting. You use the QR code, pop it in there. But like I said, big rock, protein. Got to get that in. Got to track it. Got to know where you're at, right? But here's another good thing about the little break, spring break here. You can also make your own meals, right? So we don't need to go out and buy crazy amount of quick food. We have the time to make some food. You know, there's nothing wrong with a sandwich. There's nothing wrong with a good whole wheat piece of bread, 2 pieces of bread, some deli meat, cheese, right? Just in that we have 25 grams of protein, right? You know, and then mix in some carrots on the side of that, and then if you want some Doritos, you know, that's where as a 15-year-old, it's cool. Let it happen. You're gonna use it tomorrow when you train. But so that would be number one, right? Is add the protein, make sure you have a good base, and then also let's cook or let's make our own food. That way we're not going out to have to get this. And then the second one would be every single meal we need some kind of fruit or veggie, right? Like you gotta have some fruit or veggie. So protein is cool and all, but sometimes we need something to make those proteins work. So I like to think of it as it's a house, right? I can have all the bricks in the world and I can put them up in a house formation, but if I don't have any glue or any any stickness to it, it's not gonna stand up. We blow it over and it's gonna blow, right? So there's certain processes we need that if we don't have vitamin A or vitamin C or all these different vitamins, we can't now put these proteins to be used. They're around, but they're just hanging out. Right, so to actually put them into play, you need these small micronutrients, and those will help us now put things together, allow us to build that body we want to perform at a high level for the sports we play. And that's where I keep it at nutrition, right? So it's got to be very simple because, let's be real, even for us, it's hard to eat right all the time. So if we say 3 square meals, 25 grams of protein, 1 fruit or veggie. I think people can do that. I think you guys can do that, right? You know, so now it's just being consistent with it. And let's say you're a bigger guy, maybe we add in a 4th meal, or maybe you're trying to gain, maybe we add in a 4th meal. You know, and that's where we can start making these specific, differences of
because everybody's different.
That's right.
Correct.
Yeah, but if we have this base of our protein and we have our base of a fruit and veggie, I mean, we're good, you know, and that's kind of a good place to start. And like I said, big thing too is natural whole foods. Gotta be whole foods. Can't be always going out to McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, you know. Every once in a while is okay, but to live off of that, again, you can't build a house on sand. You know, you gotta have a good, solid foundation. And unfortunately, those aren't good, solid foundations. So that's a good thing in terms of nutrition.
Yeah, no offense to those companies.
No doubt, yeah, sorry. I don't wanna,
every now and then.
Fast food in general.
Sometimes, yeah. But like you had said, especially the young ones, they're going to burn that off if they're staying in a program and they're training, especially during the season. So I think we had a question on Facebook. I was checking earlier and the volume went up, so we apologize for that. But we are live.
Bear with us. We're learning
that's
too.
What happens sometimes, so I want to turn the volume down. I think we had a comment, might have been a question. And we had a couple people watching. So I appreciate everybody that's watching on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So don't be afraid if you while we're here. And again, we'll do a short show today. I know in the future we're going to have some guests. We'll have some local high school coaches. Some celebrities, maybe local celebrities that we had planned for the unfortunate cancellation of the Saladino tournament. We'll have our sponsors come on. There's a lot of good things happening at Stream Live Tampa, and I know there's one topic I'll touch on, and this is actually a little surprised Andrew. He doesn't know about this part. Is we've talked with a lot of local high school coaches and administrators at different high schools and stuff, and about an organization called the National Federation of State High Schools, NFHS. We actually talked with them today on the way here about how to channel through their network, because I know there are some agreements in place with Florida High School Athletic Association. We've gotten great support from the Florida High School Athletic Association and now NFHS, and how to network with them and go through their network and have us at Stream Live Tampa be a freelance company for them, as well as them. And so that's something that's big, because they're very receptive to that, because they're such a national organization. They can't reach the local level like we can. So everybody here locally, that's big news.
It's huge, man.
For not only Stream Live Tampa and FHS, high schools,
big one for
communities, doesn't affect any relationships that we have had already or in the future. with our sponsors. I know there's been plenty of people we've spoken with about coming on board as sponsors. That's something that we can still do. They were more than receptive with that. So that's something big where, we know the scene here locally. Between the three of us and our relationships and conversations that we have with coaches, athletes, families, businesses in the communities, we know what everybody wants, and we want to try to mold or put everybody together.
That's right.
And how everybody can help each other. So that's something to stay in tune for. And again, with this break here in a couple weeks and however much longer maybe, we can really take this time to plan for that for the future.
That's right.
And different partnerships that I know we've talked about over the summer when when school is out and it's non-scholastic sports time with different organizations, basketball tournaments and baseball, maybe softball. Those are things that we have spoken with people about that for the future in the summer. And but again, this in the interim, this break that we have outside of spring break, a lot of good things. We've touched on some nutrition tips, workout tips, fitness tips from Andrew today. You got a little bit more background on Stream Live Tampa, where we're headed, where we're wanting to go, who we can work with now. So there's a lot of positives we can take out of a break that we're having here locally and nationwide. So again, feel free to reach out to us.
We want you to.
Yeah,
please do.
You can. We say our email address quite often at streamlivetampa@mail.com. You can shoot us emails on any topic that you wish. You can always reach out to us. Phone number is 813-477-8429. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free. This first time you're hearing about us, you can go back and look at our archive videos, what games we've done already. We get great feedback from people. They love that stuff. They love seeing us. We had people reach out to us after the last game we were at down at East Bay High School, how much they loved it, and they want us to come do a different game. We've had some requests to go up to Pasco County. Sure, we'll go up there. Let's make an event out of it. I know until these school closures recently, we were going to go do the TBCCA girls and boys all-star games down at Tampa Prep. Those might be rescheduled. Those might be rescheduled here soon after spring break. We'll see. We had the blessing from the Saladino family for the local. It was going to be the 40th Saladino baseball tournament here over spring break. So there's a lot of people right now going, why are we not at the ball fields? What do we do? Tune into us. We probably will come back again this week. We'll shoot out more teasers on when that will happen. And we might have a guest or two. Get more insight on maybe high school softball, maybe some of our sponsors, anything that we can do to help out the local community. And
give us options. We need as many ideas as possible. So send us what you guys are thinking or want to hear or want to see. Because we want to be here for you guys. Like I said, we love this community. We definitely have grown here, and we want to see this community continue to grow.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're here.
Absolutely. I see that Carol Hogue is watching us. Thank you, Carol, for watching on Facebook. Javi Sola even wants to put a shout out to Kavi and his crew. It's definitely Kavi.
Kavi, no doubt. That's the man.
The puppet master. And best wishes to you as well. And we appreciate everybody that's watching. Again, it was kind of short notice for today. We had been talking about this for the past few days amongst Kavi, Andrew, and myself, what we can do in short term. But we really want to do this once we get games back and sports are back. We really want to do this once a week, maybe on a weekend, recap the previous week, no matter what sport it is, talk about what's coming up, and you never know where this is going to go. So we are local, we care. It's really all about communities, the local communities here in Hillsborough County and beyond. Let's see how many more people are watching. Carol, Javi, anybody on Twitter there, Andrew?
No, sir, not that I see.
Yeah, well, again, when we do this next, we will shoot out some more teasers and more dates when people can watch this. And one more time, thank you to our recent sponsors, Game Time Prospects baseball organization. David Sansom has done a great job in the local community, helping high school baseball players. Again, there's plans for softball this summer, and possibly girls and or boys basketball in the near future, to have some teams play over the summer in between their high school seasons, and help them as their high school careers escalate to when they graduate in a few years. Also, Lou Randy at Randy Gloves, again, longtime former resident, former Brandon East Bay high school baseball coach. He was very excited about coming on a broadcast during Saladino tournament. Unfortunately, that couldn't happen with the cancellation of that tournament and school closures. He'll be back. Lou's a good guy. Definitely means a lot to him to be a part of this. And again, we always talk about the revolution.
Yeah, man.
And what this is going to be. And again, with the recent news of talking with NFHS today, that's big. I know they were excited to talk with us, to help them in this local area, and then vice versa. That'll help out schools as well. More exposure for them, and in our
Free
local
exposure.
communities. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So we can probably sign off here.
So.
I think we've got enough people's attention today in the short time for the first show. We need help with the name.
Yeah, help us out.
We want help with the name. With a weekly show. I mean, we're called Stream Live Tampa when we do the online broadcast, but this show right here, help us out with a name. You know, we want you guys to have a part of and a voice on what we're going to be called here. So something a little creative, if we can. We'll see what we can come up with. No immediate rush, but I know you guys like to watch us, and you're used to just hearing us and watching us here and there in the booth. But we'll be back in the booth soon. People will be back on the ball field soon, and we just gotta be patient and see what happens next. So again, my name's Jim Delaney. This is Andrew Burdick. We're Stream Live Tampa, and we will see you next time.